this might be the very end of our off-road riding career.
Absolutely.
But on a more positive note, we're in Yankee, staying at the Bella Floor, and a lovely little place it was as well. But we're on our way to see the condors flying around. But first, the tourists flying around. And the tourists were flying over one of the thermal resorts where you can go and bathe yourself in the soothing hot waters. For a small fee, of course.
Destino Magico.
We stumbled on this event in the town square. All the kids going a bit crazy.
Never going to get this crowd of kids all doing the same thing. That's the hat. The local hat they all wear. On little children. A different village because she has a different hat. These wee tuk-tuks are quite interesting. Quite unusual.
The Colca Canyon is about 160 kilometres from Arequipa. That's a few hours or a few days depending on the road you take. But it's one of the deepest canyons in the world. It runs for about 70 kilometres. And for some reason it attracts the condors. We're told because the locals chuck the odd cow off a cliff to feed them and attract up to 120,000 visitors a year. And compared to most of the dusty, rock-strewn, desert-like farms we've passed, this valley seems to be particularly fertile.
The terraces and all these fields that have been worked. It is absolutely magnificent. So they build a new road and they don't put it on Garmin, so poor Stuart ends up having to come down a back road. Honestly.
One common theme throughout South America seems to be the town square, often the Plaza de Armas. And we take a whirl around, don't have time to stop in the mall, but we take a whirl around, have a look at what they've got, and then press on. We arrived at the Condor flight path, but not a condor and not a tourist to be seen, the car park completely empty. So we packed up and headed off to our hotel for the night.
So this is tonight's hotel. It's brand new, all tiles and glass and new thatched roof. Swinging chairs in the garden. Farm outside, and then you get to the end of the patio. And it's rural village life.
Deep in the canyon, over the edge, you can see in the distance, lies a resort. So these poor mules have got to go all the way down, taking the bread and rolls and butter, and then they've got to come back up, along with the tourists. Big climb. Meanwhile, this poor woman gathering the eating material for the winter, I guess.
This is animal foodstuffs that they carry on their backs.
And this is some of the 120,000 tourists that come to the Colca Canyon every year. I tell you, it was something of a surprise to see this after the empty car park. They're driving for probably 4 hours to get here from Arequipa. And then they got 4 hours back. Jeez, better be worth it. If you really want to see condors flying, I guess you should try David Attenborough, but it's the best we could shoot.
Allá, venga, ahí está, mira el cóndor que estaba allá, allá salió más, ahí está el otro, mira que está. Ve, este es más chiquito, el otro grandazo.
What we really liked was seeing these ladies in their national costume. Sure. The volcanoes. And look, that one's got a wee cloud above it. And we're the only people. Oh, I don't think we need to get off. But we do need to plug in my jacket because it is 9.5 degrees.
The road back to the coast was, we read, blocked, or at least 2 to 3 hour roadworks, and a lot of sand, so having got burned the last time, like fools, we went back to Arequipa and fought our way through the traffic, which was its usual nightmare. And then the next nightmare was finding the hotel, or any hotel, shut. Back out onto the main road, look for another one. That's the hardest part we find about travelling, is finding somewhere for the night. We ended up driving about another 30 or 40 kilometres out through the deserts above the shore to find a hotel, and fortunately, in the end, we got one. And on the way to Ilo, we passed this place. No real idea what it is, but had a feeling it might be a desalination plant. They do live in a desert, don't they? This is take 3. Some people think it's easy to do a YouTube video. This is take 3. I can't even get the word for pelicans. There's 66,000 people live here, and no, not penguins or pigeons, pelicans. And an awful lot of fishing boats as well. This is a kind of marina without pontoons. They just all sway together in the swell.
Stopped to stretch our legs at Ito, and it's a strange little oasis on the shores between the sea and the desert. The first cows we have seen since we left Arequipa.
All along this coastline are what are called informal settlements. These are places where either the poor of the big cities or immigrants have come across a bit of land and created housing and actually some small cities out of cardboard and wood, up to the point where the government have said, okay, let's call it a town, and then they support it with services. But without the services, living here must be pretty dire.
All the buses seem to stop here for coffee. This is the choice. And there's the petrol station. Takes the bike. So it takes the bike to the aduanas, Chilean customs. Take off all the loose bags and put them through a security scanner. They didn't bother with the contents of the boxes.
The stupid thing is, all the drugs are in here.
Just don't say that, Stuart, don't joke. We're not out with goods yet. Our first night back in Chile. Not very secure parking. We're going to have to take everything off the bike, but look at this. It is literally right on the beach. There he comes. Look at the waves in the background, huge rollers. Fully laden bike. One of our last days. It's a bit sandy, so it's easier if I get on at the top.
And so, dear viewer, other than a few 100 miles more of the desert along this coastal highway, we were back in Antofagasta, where we laid up the bike and hopped on a plane and headed home. But then, after a couple of days, I got to wondering, what will we do next? It was still raining in Tunisia and a bit early to go back to the boat. And then I got to thinking, you know, I've still got a bike in Chile. I had said we wouldn't go off-road again, but hey, guess what? We did. The original plan had been to do northern Argentina, but then the Muppets at British Airways lost their bags, so we ended up having to ride to Santiago to find one. And then, having got that far, we'd unfinished business. We'd never actually made it to Ushuaia on the bike. So off we went, meeting up with our new best friend Jorg and Taro from Wishaw. So thanks for watching. Thanks to my 1 in a million for sitting on the back for 6,000 kilometres. And we'll see you in the next video. Watch out for the ongoing blog at timebandit.co.uk. Cheers.